Okay. Are we ready to go? I think we're ready to go. Alright. Welcome. Oh, welcome. Hang on one second. Un secondo. Alright. Welcome to day 74. Oh my goodness, 74. Of Naruto goodness. Where I'm gonna get straight into it. Where are we at? We're at Naruto, Sage 6 Paths, and Tamari. Lovely. And we may notice something a little bit different. Tad little bit different. Possibly. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. Oh! No, we're not. No, we're not at all. We're not gonna notice something different. Never mind. I thought I'd switched it over. Oh no, I didn't switch it over. No, I did. I literally just did. Oh, 1 second. We're gonna do these two fights, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna just make a little foray back into the option settings. Well, that was a bit numpty of me. Anyway, we are back with Naruto goodness. You'll already notice that behind me it is 7 o'clock in the evening, but it is noticeably darker. I think, or maybe just this room's really dark, and it is, I suppose, a little bit cloudy. But we are now, because we are now in autumn. Because we're now in autumn, nights are getting nightier. Night's coming earlier. We've also got daylight savings coming soon, if it hasn't already. No, it hasn't already. Yeah. Anyway, we've got daylight savings coming soon, and that is that. Now, roll call today. I've got my cup of water, got my giant cup of tea, and after this fight I'll show you what I have waiting, because I have an assortment of delightful desserty fruity snacks, all in one convenient bowl shaped vessel, and all healthy in their own ways. So will I get ultimate? There we go, lovely. Oh, okay, right, while doing this, I have low sugar, low fat ice cream. I have mixed berry Greek yogurt, homemade, although not really homemade, more just you buy the powder, you chuck it in Easy-O container with water, and then you do this cool little thingamabob, and you get yogurt the next morning. And even better. So I'm just going to exit out of those. I'm just going to exit out of here. I'm just going to exit out of all of that. Now, options. Voice, English. Settings complete. Done. That should be it. That should be it. Please, anyway, what do we... Naruto 6 Paths. Again. I'm just going to do that. And Obito Zetsu. Lovely. Anyway. Now I have kiwi fruit, but not just any kiwi fruit. What the fuck is that? I've got a relatively new variety called Ruby Red kiwi fruit, and it looks beautiful and it tastes beautiful as well. Oh, that feels weird. Oh, that feels so weird. His voice sounds so different to what I remember. I'm so used to him having a higher pitched voice. Oh my goodness. I really don't know how I feel about this now. The English voices sound so weird. so odd. Oh, it's so weird. It's so odd. English language is weird. Anyway. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it properly. It's like red kiwi fruit. It's red kiwi fruit. It's amazing. It's absolutely delicious. And it is made by the brand or the supplier, Zespri. New Zealand headquartered company, so got to represent, but they have an international presence, so you might be able to find ruby red kiwi fruit in a vegetable fruit supplier store near you. Oh great, now we've got to hear all the English pronunciation of all the names. Here we go, Kurama. Oh my goodness, Sasuke. Naruto. Got to hear all that. And Obito sounds so weird. Sounds so odd. It's so weird. I don't know if I like it or not. I really don't know if I like it or not. Okay, we've got that. Shikamaru and food. Now I've got a nice, I'm looking at the list, I've got a nice diverse list. Hang on, un secondo, actually. Sorry, I'm just, where are we? Oh my goodness. How do I, that's it, go do that one, lovely, and then I go back. How do I close out? Oh my goodness. Sorry, my chat little window thingamabob is an absolute nightmare. Sort out. I really don't like it. Part of me is like, do I want to go back to Japanese? And it is not at all a discredit to the English voice actors. I think I suppose it's probably, when you've listened to the English voice acting for ages, the Japanese one sounds weird. So it's probably just that. I'll probably, by the end of the day, I'll get used to it. Oh my goodness. Jerk. There we are. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. It's almost like you need to do like a poll of, when you compare the English and the Japanese voice acting, which one suits how the character looks more. So I'd imagine there'd be a little bit of each. also, for absolutely no idea why I'm doing so poorly in these fights. And I say poorly not because I'm losing, but because it's taken so long. Alright. Okay, right. Next, we have Kabuto Sage and Young Choji. And then... Boom. Lovely. Lovely jubbly.
Was that? Were you joking?
Okay. Character select. Ugh. Right, this last kiwi fruit is going to cause me absolute grief trying to get it off the bowl. So, un secondo. I need to find what second is in French, so I'm actually saying a proper sentence. Or I should be keeping to true form. Should be learning how to say it in Irish Gaelic actually. Like I know how to do 1 to 10, but I don't know what second is. I feel like I learned it at some point in my Duolingo course, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. And lovely. Oh my goodness. These voices are both nostalgic and weird at the same time. Anyway, I promise I'll stop going on about the voices at some point. Right, Hinata and Hanabi. Now, this should produce a unique finisher cut-in. It should. Everything says it should. Maybe I should have done it the other way around. Maybe I should have started the first half with English voices and then done Japanese voices for the last half. Possibly. Oh, lovely! Look at that. Oh. Oh no. Not even. Okay, it should be Hanabi then to Hinata. Surely. Surely. Anyway, today is Thursday and it has been a long day. It has been a very, very long day. Work today was just unbelievable. It was just issue after issue after issue. People that we haven't heard of for like X number of months. Suddenly we hear from them, and the project that we're working on, they've already advanced like 10 steps ahead of where we thought they were. So that was fun. Oh my goodness. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do a thing if I can help it. There we are. Just for the sake of speed. For the sake of speed, I won't. Okay. We've got Ino and Yokogashi. Yes, we had. Today was just tiring. Like, we were driving home after work, and I just had the biggest headache. I felt exhausted, mentally exhausted. I was just ready just to call it quits. Like, it's one of those days that you just, not like where it just makes you want to quit, but just you kind of, it's just one of those days where you just feel like all hope is lost. The world is pain, life is just the cycle of sadness and evil. It's just, oh man, it was a day. But, it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, and I thought, you know what, I'm feeling fruity, I'll make a cake. So I've got a cake, it's sitting there. With the tin we used, found out that it melted because I forgot to put, the tin didn't melt. The tin we were using, I forgot to put baking paper down, and it leaks around the edges, so sort of I opened the oven about a couple of minutes after I put the cake in, and it was stuff leaking everywhere. I'm like, for goodness sake. We managed to recover it, thank goodness. So that was good, I guess. So then after this, I'm just going to go and ice it with some green icing, and put an orange ribbon around it. So hey, St. Patrick's Day cake. Woo! Put some little. I think I've got like gold sparkly things in the cupboard as well. So I'll put that on just to zhuzh it up. Yeah, and that's pretty much. That is pretty much my day. What else? Any updates since last week? I don't believe so. Don't think so. I feel like there has been, actually. Can't for the life of me work out what it is. No, can't remember. Lovely. Okay, I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually speeding through these fights quite nicely. Got my mojo back. Yeah. In fact, these guys would have one. Probably is like 2 swordsmen of the mist. truck edition. Right, truck edition. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Lovely. That's what I'm looking for.
Because of my ambitions.
Oh, I haven't got the subtitles on. That'll be why. That'll be what's different. I'll chuck the subtitles on. When next time. It's got Naruto and Kakashi. Right, these two will undoubtedly have a cut-in image. Must surely.
Battle begins.
I think Kakashi's is one of those where actually his English and his Japanese voice acting is spot on. Okay, right now, cut an image. Oh yeah, got him.
I'm not gonna lose to you anymore, Kakashi-sensei!
The victor has been decided.
Lovely. And then Kakashi. And that one, lovely. Oh, that's right. Actually, no, yeah. So this last week, was feeling a bit blur. Like, and this time not mentally, but just like physically blur. I am a bit tubby, so it's probably got a lot to do with it. But anyway, so you know what? My blood pressure's shocking. I can feel, like, when I'm sitting still, I can just feel the blood pulsing through me, which is not good. And so, you know, I've got to do something about it. So there's a thing called the DASH diet, which is mainly just a guide for the sorts of foods that you should eat. It's like dietary approach to stopping hypertension. I think is its sort of name, or the acronym, should I say? But it's just I suppose a guide of what kind of foods you should be having if you've got hypertension and you want to stop it. And it's things like low fat dairy, nuts, seeds, legumes, lean meats, fish, lots and lots of vegetables, lots and lots of fish, all of that goodness. Basically like the Mediterranean diet, really, at the end of the day. So taking that into account, so I've said to the boy, like, right, on my chicken and my meats, can't put any of his nice seasoning on there, which I don't mind so much because I'm used to eating bland food before I met the boy. But he's just like, what? Bland food? What is this? Yeah, so got that. What else? Yeah, kind of having trying to have more vegetables, having lots more fruit, not eating as much high-fat dairy. We've got like low-fat, low-sugar ice cream, which is still actually the brand that we get. It's called Zilch. It's absolutely really delicious. We get like a vanilla one. They've got 2 flavors, vanilla and chocolate. Both of them are absolutely lovely. So we have that. Yeah, so see how I go. I've already lost like 2 kgs. Well, I say 2 kgs. A kg in the last, since like Sunday. So it's doing something. Also, probably the reason why that is I've been having like a piece of kiwi fruit for dinner for the last 2 days, because I get to, because it's weird, because I'll be hungry in the mornings, so I just have a piece of fruit at work. I then have my lunch, which will generally be leftovers of the dinner the night before. You know, have a couple of snacks. I'm feeling a little bit hungry. As soon as dinner comes, I'm like, I'm like looking at food. I'm like, oh no, I feel like I'm gonna throw up if I eat that. Like, I'm just not feeling hungry at all in the slightest, and it's weird. So then I end up just having a piece of kiwi fruit and I'm good. But then I'm hungry again in the morning, and I'm probably not helping myself at all, really, at the end of the day. I mean, today I had a proper dinner. What? Yeah, so I don't know. It's just weird, I guess. What do we try it and young sucker. Still doing quite well for time, considering I had the big break. Well, I say big break, having to reset the options. Ooh, God. Oh, great, God, Billy Sucker's voice now. Although Yuri Lowenthal as Sasuke is always lovely. I do like Neji's voice actor as well. Can't remember who it is. Lovely. Ugh. I think I probably couldn't be a voice actress, purely because I would feel really weird doing the sort of like the yells and the screams and the screeches and the sound effects, so to speak. I'd feel really weird doing it, and so I probably wouldn't. I'll be like, can I just take the roles that require no like random sound effect sounds? Like, just purely I'm just speaking lines and that's about it. Oh, come on, there we go. Lovely. Lovely. Cool. Right, now we've got Onoki and young Hinata. I'm actually making really good time. Yeah. Alright. So my goal today, which I should be able to reach, is to get to 5,500 fights. That is my goal, which I believe is very achievable.
I'll use this. You can't escape.
Oh, nice. Okay, go Hinata. Right, then we've got young Neji and young Shino. Young Neji and young Shino. Lovely. Lovely.
Just read it. The game.
Okay. Shino and Neji. No. Oh yes, no. Okay. Sorry, a complete mental blank just then. I've been noticing more and more that the amount of times my mind just kind of just temporarily like shuts down for maybe like 2 seconds. It's like I've been noticing it more and more and more, and it's kind of like, and I've also noticed it as well. So I've been playing Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy, the final bar line game that came out about a month ago, and I've noticed these really weird periods where I'll be doing the song, you know, going hard indeed. And then suddenly it's like my brain will just like stop for about 5 seconds, and I will just fully, like, it'll be, you know, a song where there's lots of button presses going on, lots of different sort of combinations of the type of buttons, whether it's, you know, you're just tapping a button versus holding it down versus using the analog sticks, all goodness. And then suddenly I'll be going hard doing it, and then my brain will just sort of like switch off, and I'll suddenly, like, I won't even press. I won't even attempt to make a button press. My hands will just like freeze in place, and it'll be like I kind of just blank out for a second, and my body doesn't even register that I need to press a button just then. And then like it'll pass, and then I'll carry on. It's like really weird. It doesn't happen very often, but I notice it like probably like every half an hour, 25 minutes. I'll just have this momentary lapse in something, and I find like sometimes I'm like thinking, is it something that happens not just when I'm playing the game, but just in real life in general? Because there'll be times where I just completely lose my train of thought, like my brain just kind of just goes into 5-second reset mode, and then I've like rebooted, I'm starting again. It's because when I say it out loud, part of me thinks, oh goodness, oh lordy, oh geez, I'm getting like early onset Alzheimer's or dementia or something. I don't think it's as serious as that. I'm not gonna self-diagnose anything, but probably actually go see someone. But then you Google it, and it's like WebMD's like, if it's not causing any major issues, like if it's not causing ongoing issues, then you'll be alright. It's pretty much what it is. So I'm thinking maybe I might just be overthinking a whole bunch of stuff. Michael Rich, what up? How are you? How's life? How are things? Oh god. Look at you so much as yeah, I'm tired. But like 10 minutes later, you stumble. You'll find, oh, I'm about to die in about 5 years. Like all my body systems are failing, and I've got a cancer, and I'm just about to have a stroke. Yeah, pretty much. But I wonder if it's one of those things where. Would a website get more screwed? Oh, sorry, our website would get more screwed if you type in a symptom and they say, oh, you're fine, you're all goods. But then it turns out to not be all good. Versus they tell you you're gonna die, but then you don't die. So then the website's like, oh, look at that, we told you were gonna die, but you didn't. Amazing, beautiful. Whereas if a website said, nah, just sleep on it, and then they die the next day from some complication or something, then the family can be like, excuse me, WebMD, you said it was nothing to worry about, you're spreading false information. So it's probably more of a legal thing than anything. When, you know, it's better we tell them that they're going to die and they don't, than we say they don't and they will, and they do. Say they will and they do. Yeah. But no, but I know fully what you mean. But the other thing too is like even just trying to diagnose, like you type in anything, you type in, I have a cancer-like tumor on my back, and the kind of the possible causes will be 30 other things plus cancer. You type in sniffly nose or flu-like symptoms, and it can be 50 things that aren't even related to it. And then they always have to put genetic reasons, hereditary reasons, again probably for a legal reason. Yeah, so even just trying to get any sound advice on what it could even be, unless it's a harmless thing, in which case you'll find the information about it super quick. Like I've got them everywhere. I've got one up here, I've got one on my knee or close to my knee. I'm getting them all over the place. I've got like 3 on my chest. Like the really, really bright red, like raised little bumps that you get. Cherry angiomas is what they're called. And all it is, I think, and I'm probably misconstruing this largely, it's like basically like it's like a bunch of blood vessels. They're sort of just not like poking out of the skin as such, but like imagine like like blood vessels underneath your skin that kind of just bulge up a little bit. It's kind of like that. I think that's what they are. And they're completely harmless. They'll obviously bleed if you scratch them too hard, but they're relatively harmless unless they start changing shape and colour and all that sort of thing. Then probably got a cause for worry. But so because they're harmless relatively, finding information about them super easy. Like super easy. You'll get websites that tell you exactly what they are. Literally, like you type in what it is, and then the first result on Google will be exactly all the information you need. It's fabulous. As soon as it's something that could potentially be serious, oh, it's so difficult. So difficult to try and narrow down a cause. No, I am doing the right Kakashi.
I'll take care of this.
That sounds like Ring. Oh my goodness. I wonder how many like characters will have a voice actor that I'm like, hang on. See, that sounds slightly like Ring.
I'll take care of this.
Even though I know it's not.
Ready to continue?
Yeah, but how many Trails voice actors and actresses are going to be in here? Oh, I'm actually getting excited for that now. Yeah, no, fully. It's yeah. At least we live in a modern age with modern medicine. Yeah, where now if you had a cold, it's like great, just go for some Lemsip, you'll be all good. Got the flu, drink some Lemsip, you'll be right in a couple of days. Fabulous. Whereas in the old time, you'll go to the doctor, they'll get a leech, sucks the blood out of you, like, yeah, nah, laters, and then your body will have a weak immune system, and then that's it, you're gone. So yeah, but then some people say the flip side of modern medicine being as good as it is, obviously there's gaps and it can be better, but as good as it is life expectancies are getting longer and longer and longer, and now we run into infrastructure problems because everyone's staying alive too long. Yeah, exactly. 30's like, holy crap. Like, the village elders would be like 33. Yeah, the only people that manage to survive are like, their mid-30s. Haven't even gone through their midlife crisis yet. Maybe that's the thing. Like, the midlife crisis happens around, around the time that it does because historically most people never made it to that age. So it's kind of like life wasn't designed to go that far. So you kind of have your midlife crisis. With something deep in your genetic memories like, I don't know what to do beyond this point. I never thought we'd get this far. Now, am I on track for this one? Yes, I'm very on track. Goodness. Even with the brief, like, minute or 2 minute loss of time due to changing the voice to English, excuse me, we are right on time. Actually ahead of time, relatively speaking. I think. Yeah, no, we are actually. Where are we? No, we are, yeah. Lovely. Jubbly. Now we've got Kakashi and Sasarine. That one, lovely. I'm just gonna scroll down on my list down here. Ow. And I've just got the biggest cramps. Ow. Ah. And I don't know what they are. They're too low down for it to be lady things, and they're too high up to be like leg cramps. Ah. Don't know what that is. Officially reached Naruto fatigue. Oh, really? That's right, because isn't around the same time he's trying to cut leaves, is it's also around the same time around what was it? You get all the flashbacks with Asuma and Shikamaru as well, like them playing shogi and talking about the king and all that sort of thing as well. No. Hang on a second. Okay, well, hang on a sec. Who was it that's with Naruto when he's trying to cut the leaves? It is Asuma, isn't it? It is Asuma. So now I'm just trying to think. Because when Team 10... Or when Team 10 is fighting Kakuzu, when they go after Kakuzu and Hidan, and then Naruto's all training to try and learn the Rasen Shuriken. Who was he? Who was training him? Is it Tsunade? I always thought it was Asuma, but now I think about it, hang on, that's impossible. And Asuma's dead by that point. I'm so confused. I feel like I'm getting like 3 episodes, different kinds of episodes all mixed up. Oh hey, Ball, what up? Oh, we got a new emote. Nice. What's her name? Is it L? L Bright? L someone? I could be wrong. I'll find out when I finish Cold Steel 2. Estelle. I was close. I was close. Oh yeah, because in terms of like, you know, compared to Rin, what kind of how is she as a protagonist? Actually, no, I won't say compared to Rin, because, but I'll just say like, just generally as a protagonist. Who do you prefer as a protagonist? Her or Rin? Oh, her and Joshua's co-protags. Joshua. Who mentioned Joshua in Cold Steel 2? Someone did. That name sounds familiar now. Joshua Bright. Someone said his name in Cold Steel 2. I cannot for the life of me think about who said it. do like her more than Reed. Ooh, interesting, interesting. Well, I'm excited. Well, I am very excited to jump into that game. Oh, I just love Trail so much. Oh, just yeah. Would you sum up her character as like, is she kind of the epitome of plucky? Like when people describe a character as plucky, like very high energy, yeah. Lovely.
Misread it.
Sorry, I heard that as I miss, not like, okay. I know what it was meant to say, and I think I've been on the internet for a bit too long. I know he meant to say I misread it, as in like I misread the attack, but all I heard was I misread it, as in he wants to go back on his insect love subreddit. That's what, oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry, complete aside. Yeah. Donatello's your fave. Oh. Once again, Bull, proving your excellency. Donatello is always the correct choice. Fair. And it's probably why I love them too. Although I always, because I never realised until like probably way too late that they had their own different personalities. But also because I like Donatello because he was, you know, the nerd, the smart one. And Conqueror and Cheer. I feel like I've done this, but I must have been with another. Must have been with Young Conqueror. I feel like I've done this one before, but must not have. Ready for East Friday? Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I did have a I didn't have super squiz, but I just gave myself a sense of how far I am from the end. I've still got quite a ways to go, which is very pleasing to hear actually. I've still got quite a ways to go, but that's also which I'm sure if I used a guide to get a general sense of where I'm supposed to go, then I'd imagine it'd be way shorter. But yeah, but no, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm curious to know who like the final boss is, or like what the sort of ending bosses, like what more, if there's any callbacks to Origin, East Origin, and East 1 even, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm still kind of like reeling about that, was it Galaldi? That giant bloody head boss? I'm still like, I had to show the boy, I had to show the boy it, and I'm like, this is a boss that they had in my game just before. He's like, what the hell? I did do the toll playthrough. The only playthrough I didn't do was Hugo's. I think I started because I'm like, I'll give it a shot, just see what the combat's like, but you know. Yes, I did Unica's and Toll's. such strong emotions, Paul. But no, he seemed just like angsty for the sake of being angst. And it's just like, you know, your brother's way more interesting, my boy. Come on. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, because then when I finish East 2, because I was thinking, because I've got a whole bunch of games all lined up, just like little one, not franchises, but just smaller games that I can sort of chuck in between others. So I'm thinking, after I finish East 2, I'll pull one of the other ones out. They'll be like puzzly sort of games. Like Tunic, I want to play that. There's one called Taiji, which is like real involved. So thinking I'll like break it up. I'll do finish East 2, chuck one of those games in. Then after that I'll go into Memories of Salsetta, and I'll do that, Oath and Felghana, and then Ark of Napishtim, which I suppose then actually, because then I've only got E7 after that, so I might actually just do, I'll think of something. But then probably between Cold Steel 2 and Trails in the Sky, I might even chuck another one-off game in there as well. Because then, but actually no, then by that point, Tears of the Kingdom will be out. No, okay, I've decided that, so I was thinking of all the new games that are coming out, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do is when Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I will be taking a day off work, so I think what I'll do is I will do a full day stream of Tears of the Kingdom, but then from that point on, I'll then just play it kind of like for me sort of thing, but then just do like Discord updates maybe. Oh my goodness, this guy does really not want to get hit with an ultimate. And then I was thinking even do a similar thing with FF16, because I've got 2 days off of work for that one, and then because, you know, in my heart of hearts, I don't want to spoil you guys with the best game ever, and I'm saying that facetiously. So I was thinking I'll do 16 hours worth of FF16 and then go back and play that for myself as well. But then I was thinking, no, I want you guys to experience the joy. But then at the same time, I also don't want you guys to be spoiled, because I would totally want you all to be playing the best game ever. So I'm still a bit torn on FF16. So there's that. Because then the other thing too is that because I'll be playing FF16 like every day, then East and Trails games are just going to get pushed to the wayside. But I don't want to also push them to the wayside, so that's why I'm thinking I don't fully stream FF16. Choices. I'm probably completely overthinking it. I really should just go with the flow, but that's my thing. Although FF7 Rebirth, which will be at the end of the year, I'm fully streaming that one. You are all going to join me on the journey of a lifetime. It's gonna be amazing. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for all these games. My backlog at the moment, last I checked, is I've got 27 games either in progress or no, I've got 11 games in progress and 16 games that are like I've bought and are kind of just sitting there ready to be played, e.g. like all the other Trails games and the East games and so on and so forth. And then I've got 28 games in my haven't come out, no, have or haven't come out, but I haven't bought them yet. So that's like a mix of things like Sonic Frontiers, Harvestella, Heaven's Vault, but then also the other games that haven't come out and like they are a thing, like Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield, Dragon Age 4, Devil May Cry 6, like all that sort of thing. So I've got 28 games in that list. So all in all, a big backlog. But is anyone's backlog like less than 10? Is any person with their soul, is their backlog less than 10? I suppose it's also the problem with loving games so much. Is that there's so many games to play so little time, and then when you think, oh, I've run out of games, like I've played all the games that there is to play that would interest me, you suddenly find yourself down a rabbit hole, and now you've got about 30 more games that you have to play. You know, which was I suppose was what was the case with me in Trails, thinking, oh, you know, I'll just play this game. Absolutely love it. Oh, that's now like 9 games to add to my list. Well, more than that actually, if you count Trails into Reverie, it's which hasn't come out properly though yet. So yeah, 9-10 games. So okay, what I'm actually gonna do is I think it's time to update the list. Because we are down to 5539. Lovely jubbly. And what we at? Choji and Kimimaro. That's right. The other life update is so the boy's brother. He was planning on going. Well, he didn't really know if he wanted to go to uni, but at some point last year he decided he wants to come down and live with us. Well, come and move down to the city that we're in. So then obviously, you know, being what it is, you know, he can come and live with us for the first while. So basically boy said he was messaging him the other night, and when the boy goes up and visits his family for Easter, him and his brother will then come down afterwards, and then his brother will be staying us from that point on. So that leaves me Easter weekend to tidy up the house, because I don't want him coming, and the house is an absolute state. I'm like, yep, this is what you're gonna live in. Oh, and then his sister as well is gonna come and stay with us for a couple of weeks at that same time as well. So it's gonna be a full house for a couple of weeks after Easter. So I'm like, great, they can do all the cooking. But no, not actually. It'll be a holiday for her. But yeah. So it'll be weird, kind of like being on like the other side. It won't be like a full-on flat situation as such, but it'll be interesting being on the other side of it, where we have someone living in our house versus, you know, rather than the other way around. And, you know, how many things will I finally understand about, you know, being a living landlord or anything like that. You know, why when big flat arguments happen, or, you know, passive aggressive flat things happen, being on the other side of it will be like, I finally understand.
Here I go. Tool. Blade chaos. Watch out for the rain of steel. Ha! Here I go. Tool. Blade chaos. Watch out for the rain of steel.
Fight along with my insect.
What? You what along with your insect?
Blade of a thousand strokes. Blade of a thousand strokes. There you are. Here I go.
There we are, okay. Right, that should be it.
I wouldn't forgive you if you got on your knees and begged. Watch out for the rain of steel.
The victor has been decided.
Yoshino.
Battle begins.
Excuse me. Actually, that's actually a question. Maka Rich, with your backlog, when it comes to sort of like deciding the next game to tackle on it, is there any like particular method or sort of rhyme and reason you use to decide, or is it really just you sort of look and pick which one you think might be, you're like, oh yeah, I'll play that one. That's the one that's speaking to me at the moment. Because I always find that I struggle trying to pick the next one. Because like I start it and then I'm like, and then I start another one, I'm like, and then I just sort of flip back and forth between the two. So rather than just starting with one, I've started two. And sometimes even 3 or 4. And that's how I get to 11 games in progress. Lovely. Okay. No, it's just facing Hanabi. I just had one of my like mental blanks just then. I swear to God, it's like every 25 minutes I'll go through just this like blue screen of death for like 2 seconds. Probably is something I'll have to get checked out, to be honest. some reason, there's something like as weirdly counterintuitive as it sounds. There's something, it's almost like a diagnosis would actually be comforting in a way. You're like, I feel like there's something going on, but I'm not quite sure. Yet, and then a diagnosis will be like, huh, okay, I wasn't going crazy. Oh. Yeah, okay. That's it. Yeah, true. That's actually a good one. Yeah, actually, that's a good thought. Yeah, so yeah, it's almost like seeing the hype around the sequel or the next entry. You're like, Fallen Order. I've always been curious. Like you sort of like been looking at it, but never actually gone and played it. Yeah, and then that's what starts. I must say though, if you haven't played Fallen Order, it is a very good game. Highly encourage you to go and play it if you haven't already. I've heard some people even say it's a Souls-like, and I really don't know what they're on about. It's not. I mean, I struggle getting 10 minutes into Dark Souls, and it is not a Souls-like in the slightest. It's just requires a bit more than just simple hack and slashing. Yeah. And nugget. Oh, you went to replay it last year. The God of War game. Oh, of course, yeah. Resident Evil 4's come out. Got to tell the boy that'll be out soon. Cause he's a Resident Evil fan. Yeah, no, it is always the case too where. And I'm gonna have a serious problem with it when like all the games I'm looking forward to start coming out all within like months of each other. Is you're like, okay, damn, I gotta finish that, and I'm gonna finish this other game before this one comes out, and then sort of your backlog starts getting too big to be able to tackle properly, and then more games just get put to the wayside because newer games come out that you want to play like as soon as, and it's just like this never-ending battle. Like I've got games on my current backlog that have been sitting there since about like 2019, 2018, purely because I've never been able to get around to them because something new has always popped up, or like a game that I'm a little bit more keen on playing has come in. Like I've got, what's it, Icewind Dale. I've created my party of 6, but just never something else has popped up that I've always wanted to play instead. I think Suikoden 3 I haven't had for too long. There's one game in particular though that I've got my backlog, I've had on it for ages. What is it? Final Fantasy IV, The After Years. The sequel to FF4. I've had that sitting on there since like 2018. Bought it on Steam and it's just been sitting there uninstalled for like 5 years. Lovely. We've got Pain and Han. We've got a lovely mix of characters today. The other thing too that doesn't help a backlog, and is my blessing and curse, is the amount of RPGs on there. Does not help things. Because on my backlog sheet that I've got, I track, so I've got like the name, the console, the genre, my completion criteria, Because some of them I mark as complete if I've just finished the story. Some of them I only mark as complete when I've gotten the platinum trophy. Or some, like for instance, the there's some games where I've just got like different sort of completion criteria. So for instance, I have to complete every side quest, but not necessarily platinum or 100% completion. Yeah, and then alongside all that, I go on to howlongtobeat.com and I get the sort of the closest hour thing that matches the kind of playthrough I'm wanting to do. And then so once I've done that, I look at it and all the RPGs are like 70 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours, 55 hours, 48 hours, 61 hours. I'm like, oh for goodness, oh my god. And then every other game is like 10, 8, 12. I'm like, I could tackle all the short ones first, but I really, really want to play all these RPGs. So I've got something like at the moment, I've got to finish my backlog. If I played non-stop, it would take me something like 800 hours? 800 hours I think to finish my backlog. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do some mighty math powers. 800 hours divided by 24 is... So we've got 20, we've got 40, about 40... I can divide up, I can multiply up. About, let's just say completely round it out and say... No, because 40 times 4 is 160. So you want to drop down to about 38. Let's just drop it down to 35, because then I can say 5 weeks. 5 weeks straight, 24/7, no breaks at all games would be enough to finish my backlog. Holy crap, that's a lot. When you put it in perspective like that. Sign up for the... Oh, nice. That would be neat. I reckon you'll get it. I reckon you'll get it. I mean, of anyone I've ever known, you're the one that gives them the most free promotion of Trails and Ease that I've ever seen. So it would almost be like a crime not to be honest. I mean, they can thank, you know, the few $100s that they received. Well, they didn't receive all whatever money of it, but from all the Trails and East games that I've now bought. Thanks to your shameless free publicity for them. Yeah. So all of Naruto, including Shippuden, is 264. You're doing... Oh my goodness. Dang. Yeah, no, I probably won't. To be honest, actually. Yeah. Oh, honestly, so one of my so I've got like my 5 goals for 2023, which I've already done one of them, so I'm on track. But I've got like a secret I've got a secret hidden goal. So like my main goals are I've got to grow something in my vegetable garden and eat it. So I've done that. So I can take that one off. I've got to get below 90 kgs. I've got to buy a dress in December, like one of those like frilly, flowy summer dresses. I've got to buy one in December and wear it out. I don't know why it's a goal, it just is. Because I've never owned a frilly, flowy dress. Anything feminine, really. But I've gotta feel cute enough to do it. I've got to pass my the MS700 exam, so the Microsoft's Teams Administrator exam certification. And then what's my 5th one? But that... I can't remember my 5th one. But anyway, my secret bonus one is get below 10 games in my backlog, which, considering the amount of games coming out this year that I really want to play, that is not happening at all in the slightest. So yes, what up? Hello, hello. Welcome on in. How is FF7 Remake? Where'd you get up to? Are you loving it? Are you hyped? Have your theories developed any further? Bam. So, just the side quest? Oh, nice. Oh, that's right, yeah, no, the side quests around, oh god, I can never get my sectors right. Sector 5? I think where Aerith is? I think it's Sector 5. Yeah. Nice, nice, but I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. And I must say, with the theory crafting, I won't say with what, but you've been bang on the money on a couple of your theories. So, I must applaud. I must applaud. And I won't say to what extent you've been bang on the money, as well, because it could be you're bang on the money on one particular very, very small, tiny detail, or it could be your theory was literally verbatim what it actually is. But I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep hush. But I'm just gonna I'm gonna drop you that little nugget. And also, because, you know, if you haven't realised, I am so incredibly hyped for FF7, just stuff in general. So I am stopping everything I can to just, like, stopping myself just going on the super long tangent about it. But when I can, I will. And I'll say no more than that. Right, so we get to and I'll be masked. That's right, it's funny, at work, there's a guy at my work that loves Zelda games as well, so we chat about Zelda often, and it's really funny because I don't want to say anything because I feel like it would just be really jerkish to say, so I don't say anything. I keep my mouth shut about it. But so one of the things is most of the gamers in the office, they're all parents. They're all dad. Well, mostly dads. In fact, there's no ladies who game. Oh no, there is one actually. Yeah, most of them are dads. There's about 3 of us that don't have kids. So when what all the dads talk about is they keep going on about, oh, all these games that are coming out, I just don't have any time to play them. I've got like 30 minutes, if I'm lucky, a day to play games, and I'm like sitting there, I'm just like, well, yesterday I did 2 hours, the day before that I did 3 hours, the day before that I did 2.5. The weekend is probably more like 6 or 7, you know. I don't want to do that. And then they keep saying how they struggle, or they grapple with the torment of not being able to play games as much as they want. And I kind of, like, I don't want to say how much I play games, because on one hand they could be like, God damn, you need to get a life, or they'll be jealous, and I don't want to do any of that, because that's not my intention to do so. So I just have to say, oh yeah, no, I play games a fair bit. I don't say how long. But today I was talking to my mate who plays Zelda and a couple of guys, and they were once again saying how much they they've been looking at Starfield trailers, and then one of them has said that he's been getting into some big RPGs recently. Like, he's tried to play The Witcher 3, and he's like, oh, it's such a fantastic game, but I've just got no more time than like 10 minutes to spend on it, and it's not really the game that you can just play for 10 minutes and drop out of. Even though technically, mechanically you can, but you don't. It's not the sort of game that you would want to do it. And I'm just sitting there going like, yeah. I'm looking forward to Starfield, you know. Binge like 10 hours of it at the weekend at a time. You know, it's they lament that they like RPGs but have no time anymore in the days. And I was thinking, like, part of me was thinking, maybe I do need to get a life and like not spend like 3 hours playing video games a day. But then I was thinking, but I love video games. I love video games so much. And yeah, and who I would not be playing it purely for them. Purely so I don't feel as bad for them not being able to play as much. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. It's me completely overthinking things and trying to like be weird, like be nice for them, or like change how I do things to make other people not feel bad. Anyway, so but then at the same time, deep down, I'm like secretly, yeah, I'm glad I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids, so I can play games all day. Because kids will just eat into my games time, and that can't happen. I mean, there's a bajillion other reasons, but that's the kind of reason that my dad latches on to when he says, for goodness sake, when are we getting grandkids? I want a grandchild. I'm like, Dad, you have grandchildren. This won't be your first grandchild, it'll be your 4th. So, I think you're good. You're not missing out. Itachi Reanimation and Kimimaro. Someone was trying to roast you. I'm like, well, what do you do? Alright, get it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, but savage. Savage. some part of me does agree, but at the same time. Yeah, actually. Yeah, there's one guy at work who's like, oh my god, Liz, you gotta get in life. And I'm just like, well, no, secretly deep down I'm like, well, you've had your second divorce. You're obviously you know, your track record ain't great with other things. I think I'm good. Just let me have my video games, and let me have my video games where I am happy and content. You know, me and the boy don't have time to have little disputes. You know, we're just happy with just playing our games. Playing our games, doing our things. Yeah. Me and the boy are happy. I know, it's my one problem. It's the one problem I've had, I'd say, most of my life. Well, I actually no, probably happened mid high school actually, more so. Where I care deeply about what other people think. Deeply. If there's like the slightest thing that someone doesn't like what I'm gonna do, I will like bend over backwards to try and get them to like me. And I know I shouldn't, but yeah. Oh, oh dang. Oh nice.
Resistance is futile.
That's pretty. There's something so wholesome about like people like your dad, that they just have like this one thing, and they've just like taken, like they're just so good at it, and you know, having like he's playing as like this league years at 2027. It's just, there's something about it. I can't even just like properly put my finger on it, properly describe it, but it's something so wholesome, and I love it.
Weakling, drown in the dance of the Kaguya. The victor has been decided. Don't challenge me.
Okay, and now we've got young Choji and young Choji. I did have there's a guy, or my colleague at work, who my boss says like me and him are like literally the same person, just a male and female version. But he plays games a lot as well. But he plays a lot of like Europa Universalis and Civilization and those sorts of games. And he never ever gets a game day one, because he says he's always disappointed by them. He never buys into hype, which I can respect, I guess. I can never understand, but I can respect. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, I'm like, am I playing games too much? I have this thing, you know, am I playing games too much? And he's like, are you putting off, like, as long as it's not unhealthy, like, are you putting off things that have to be done? And, you know, it's sort of like your life is kind of falling apart or falling behind, like you're not paying bills or you're not doing that. I'm like, no, like we very easily pay our bills, and you know, there's nothing urgent that I'm putting off, I guess. It's just, I just play it a lot. He's like, well then there you go. It's all good. It's not an unhealthy addiction. I'm like, oh, words of wisdom. Sweet. But yeah, so I suppose the moral of the story, guys, play lots of video games. And keep doing it, because as the years goes by, we're going to get even more games and even greater games and even better looking games and Final Fantasy 16 and all this good stuff. FF7 Remake Part 3, whatever it's called. Well, actually, no, on that. So I was doing, I can't remember where I was. I think I was bored somewhere. Was I at work? No, I was somewhere. Maybe I was at the airport. I think I was at the airport a couple of weeks ago. Actually, no, it was. It's on the way back from the conference a couple of weeks ago. We were waiting at the airport, and I was thinking, right, what is FF7 Remake Part 3 gonna be? Because they've said that the naming convention of like remake, rebirth, thing like the re-something, they're gonna carry on that naming convention. So we can all very, definitively say that the third part is gonna be re-something. So then I'm thinking, okay, what is it going to be? I'm going to predict. I want to write down a prediction of what it's going to be. So I was thinking, okay, well, oh god, what did I even end up thinking? I can't, hang on. Now I've got to try and remember what my prediction was going to be. Can't remember. I'll think of it. Yeah. Well, the story, if you have kids, they're taking money, time, and your hobbies, but at least when they get a new console, they'll give you all. Fair. Yeah. I genuinely, in this day and age, I genuinely don't know what would possess someone to have a child. And like, I say that not from a, like, I know that you can get some of the, like, child-free people that just, they have this utter revulsion and hatred of children that I just cannot understand. But I can understand the fact that, like, doesn't seem like a very financially good decision to have a child. Oh yeah. But no, but at least when your children get all the shiny new things, they're like, hey mom, hey dad, do you want my PS7? And you're like, yeah, of course I do. Give that shit over here. I'll swap my PS5 out for it. And then they can help you when, like, VR, AR technology becomes, like, normal. They'll be able to help you out with your full body VR machine, trying to get the settings right on it. Yeah. That's what I remember. Okay, I remembered. Remember what my prediction was. So, and I'm not gonna say why Remake and Rebirth are called what they are. And I don't actually know why Rebirth's called what it is, but I'm sure we'll find out. So I was thinking, okay, let's think semantically. Let's think linguistically. So we got Remake and Rebirth, both relatively short. I say relatively short words, but they're not like reconciliation, resurrection, blah blah blah. Hey, Eamon Selby, thank you for the follow. And how are you? How are things? Hope you are doing fabulously. Got Young Kakashi and Neji. But yeah, so yeah, Remake, Rebirth, very like short, small words, shorter words ish. It's not like we're not going to get a Final Fantasy VII Revengeance or Resurrection or Revelations or anything. We're not going to get anything like that. And to be honest, they will have. Won't be happy if they did. I'm like, okay, so it has to be a shorter word. And it's the denouement, the conclusion of a trilogy. I've got no idea at this point what that conclusion is going to be, but it's going to be a conclusion nonetheless. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what are some conclusive words that start with E? So I'm thinking, like, do we have rematch, something? I'm thinking no, reprise, or is it reprise? Reprise, something. No, even now when I say that, that sounds absolutely stupid. Never mind, scrap my whole theory. I'll go back to the drawing board, because as soon as I say that now, that sounds dumb. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Oh, you might be meeting the English voice actors of Sasuke tomorrow. Lucky bugger. Oh my goodness. Nice. Are there, is there a convention near you, that they're going to? Naruto and Gaara. No, wrong one. Gonna be in Michigan. Oh. Lucky bugger. Cause, like, especially Yuri Lowenthal, like, he's like a big name in voice acting in general. Cause there'll be like people going to see him for Naruto, there'll be people going to see him for, I mean, you could say literally anything at this point. Like the PlayStation Spider-Man games. He's in he's in everything. So who have I met? I've met Dave Wittenberg. I've met Kakashi's voice actor. Had a photo with him too. In my very weeb, I was a weeb back then, so you know you have to have the photo with the whole like peace sign. It's just cringe. Anyway, I've had a photo with met David Wittenberg, and I've met, oh god, I'm gonna butcher his last name, Vic Mignonia. The other big voice actor, Vic Mignonia. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna absolutely butcher it, but I've met him as well. I've had him sign Upside Down. I accidentally realised I gave it to him upside down. A kunai box thingy. That's the one. That's the one. I need to find how to pronounce it. Mignonia? Mignonia. Something. Yeah. Oh, the voice actor of Pikachu. Voice actor of Konohamaru. I did not. I know now. Goodness. It's weird where there's crossovers. And I would laugh if there was like someone who started watching Naruto and like when Konohamaru talks, they're like, that sounds familiar. That sounds like Pikachu. There is a lot of overlap actually. Yeah, there's like, it's like there was a thing years ago about like the 10 English actors that are just in everything, and it's the same thing with English VAs, especially in anime and video games. It's like the same 10 dudes. So Yuri Lowenthal is like guaranteed to be like 9 out of 10 of everything. And now I start saying that and I can't think of someone else, but no, like I'll know the voices. Like, oh, what's his name? Hang on. No, there's another guy. What's his name? Lance Reddick. He's in everything as well. He's in Mass Effect. He was in that Quantum Break game. He was in, for some reason, he was Alex Wesker in Resident Evil Netflix show. He's in everything as well. He's in Destiny, all of that. There's 2. Yeah, I'm sure I can think of 8 more. Right, who did I just played as Gaara, didn't I? So I've just completely blanked on where I got up to. There we are. In fact, do I have a Konohamaru coming up? No, beans I don't. I'm now like really curious as to what other crossovers we have. And also I suppose, actually no, I find that a lot of cartoon voice acting, there's a lot of women that voice male characters. Like Naruto's a chick. Most of the cast of Simpsons is a chick. Ash is a chick. Ray Chase, he's in everything as well. Ray Chase, that's another actor that's in everything. Although I didn't actually know about him before FF15, so... But now I hear him in everything. Lovely. We got now, we got Naruto, Rasen Shuriken, no. Just give it a wind style. And we got second Mizukage.
Battle begins.
But I think the can't remember when about I was saying it, but I think the one thing about voice acting that I don't think, and especially for like fighting games or anything like that, is I don't think I could be a voice actress purely because I would not be able to do like the grunts and the screams and the screeches and like the sound effects and the like. I wouldn't be able to do any of that because I would just start giggling. I would listen to myself and I would just start A, I'd cringe because I have to listen to myself, but B, they're like, right, you've got to make a grunt noise like you've just been stabbed, and you just be like, you'd be thinking to yourself like, how the hell am I going to do that? And you'd be like, ugh, ugh. And then you'll find that you'll just like, your brain just wants to emulate Link for Legend of Zelda, and then you'll just start giggling and you wouldn't be able to do it. That must be the hardest part of any VA's job, is to do all the non-lines, the non-line voice work. Like that scream of death. How can you do that without laughing? I don't know how you could, to be honest.
Battle begins. Here you go. Pretty good atmosphere, eh? It's the giant clam's Genjutsu. Boom! Escaping this. No escaping this.
Come on. There we go. Goodness. Okay, now we've got Nagato and Yukito, which is should be relatively. Now I'm not going to say they're going to be short fights because I jinx myself every single time I say that. So they're going to be very long fights. They're gonna be strenuous. They're gonna test my abilities to the fullest extent.
How about this?
One thing I've just noticed, my latest follow thing hasn't updated. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Eamon. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. No, the sound's just gonna cut out for a second. Stream labels. Should load this up. Here we go, lovely. Done. Right. And there we are. Right, and this fight's gonna be super long and strenuous as well. There we are, lovely. Last one. Oh, no, maybe not quite. There we are. Fabulous. Okay, I have got 6 fights left to go, and then that will be more for today. Which, again, I'm going to say they're going to be very long and strenuous ones, but we should be fine. And we're about, after this, we should be about 51% of the way there. I think. Heading out, voice acting is fun too. You have to make a yell that sounds like you're finding your best friend after having a flash of yeah. Exactly. But like you've got these 5 things going on mentally. They're doing a big flashback scene, and you've got like 3,000 years of backstory and history that you have to bring into the emotion of your voice, and you're just like looking at the director, and you're just like, and I'm supposed to do that. Sorry, how? But no, thank you so much for hanging out. As always, it's been great to have you here. I will be easing tomorrow night, so I'll catch you around then. Have a great one. Stay well, stay rested, stay hydrated. Because the other thing too about voice acting, because apparently it doesn't actually happen all the time, is you'd think when you're trying to voice act, you would want to be able to see either the TV scene or the game scene that you're meant to be voice acting, so you've got some idea visually of what's going on when you're doing the voice acting, because otherwise it'd be an absolute nightmare trying to work out what does the scene look like, this line that I'm reading, like, is it a happy scene? Am I curious, interested? Is buildings on fire around me? Am I at a serene lake? Am I in the void between dimensions? Like, all of that sort of thing. I would imagine and I would hope that the voice acting director or direction is given the voice actors a really solid idea of where their character is in space and time. Because I know that when Crisis Core Reunion came out, because they've redone Zack's voice actor, there was huge criticisms over it, saying it sounded weird, like it just sounded bad, almost as if he didn't know what emotion he was trying to think, or as if he was just reading a line with no context of where that line sits in a conversation or what's happening. And so I wonder if that's a product of bad direction or not enough direction. Like they were never told what's happening, what this line is meant to be, all that sort of thing. And that's why the result ended up being what it was. But I didn't think it wasn't horrendous. I've heard worse, by far. But now everyone's concerned because he's the voice actor going forward in the 7 remake stuff. So, oh god, does that mean that every time Zack turns up, people are going to hate the scenes because the voice acting's so janky? But I would think not. Because Aerith's voice actress, it was her first ever voice acting gig, and she was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Pleco Amore, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. How are you? How are things? You doing okay? That is good to hear. I'm glad. I'm glad indeed. I've had what felt like the longest day at work I've ever had in my life. To the point like you leave work and you're just like your eyes are ready to close because you're so mentally exhausted and tired. So I'm just like, it's always great when you're doing a stream where you can just sit there and play games and just completely de-stress from work. I'm just gonna fully cheese this. Fully. Like if I play video games to have fun. Like that is the #1 priority. I will never ever force myself through a game, just cause, you know. And it's it's literally like the one of the one things in life that I could just fully enjoy. I don't think I've ever ever sat down and played a video game ever in my life and not had fun, which could be construed as my life is just that boring, but I'm going to be on the positive side and I'm just going to say it's because video games are great. Anyway, I have to update my list because I am now down to 5,500 fights remaining. Alright, now what's the time? 9:11. I'm going to do 4 more fights, I think. I'll do 4 more fights today. Okay. I will give you the rundown. It's a long history, a long 11-month history I've got to fill you in on. Not actually, but so basically what it is, what this whole shebang is, don't ask why I'm doing it, because I just am, so I've decided I say you could call it a challenge, I guess, if you want to call it that, although it's not really a challenge to it, is I'm going to play every character in the Storm 4 roster against every other character in the Storm 4 roster, which, when you do calculate the mathy maths, it ends up being 11,227 fights that you have to do that. So as you can see, I've got 5,500 fights remaining, and I've done about 5,700 fights at this point. So I'm over halfway. I've reached halfway the last day, so day 73. And I'm just doing it, and that's literally what this is. So it's not like the fights remaining counter in the top right is literally just me having to manually type. So to save time, I don't update it after every fight. I just sort of update it after sort of like 20, 30 fight chunks. And that's me. And that's literally it. Nothing more to it. If you're like, why would you ever want to do that? I'm just like, I used to play all the old the Naruto games on the PS2, and just ran. I think I was bored one day, and I'm like, I'm just gonna play every character versus every character, see how I go. Realize it's gonna take me ages. I'm like, yeah, nah. But I've always, something in my brain's like, I've always wanted to do that. No prize, no. I'm not gonna win any awards when I do so. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. So here I am. I started this at the end of April last year. I was doing it very poorly back then. I was only able, in a 2-hour slot, I was only able to do about 30 fights. I've now been able to fully optimize and get myself up to about 80. I'm sort of averaging about 83 fights every 2 hours. So that's we're well on our way to finishing in October this year. But yeah, and no, I do. Naruto has if there's one mainstay, like one franchise or anything that has been throughout my whole life, but there's multiple, but the main one is Naruto. It is like probably the one thing that has shaped me more growing up. So I will never not tire. I will never not tire of Naruto. Favorite character? Good question. At this today, as of 9:14 p.m. today, it is probably maybe Itachi. If you asked me yesterday, it could have been Neji. If you asked me a day before that, it might have been Sasuke. If you asked me a day before that, it could have even been Haku. I wouldn't say it changes with the weather, but it's as I've grown old. Like, if you'd asked me when I was like 12, it would have been hands down Sasuke. Like, he is the best ever anime character ever in the history of ever. Anyone who doesn't like Sasuke is dumb. I was fully Sasuke fangirl, and he's definitely still top 3 favorites. But as I've grown older, I've started to like Itachi more and more, and now I kind of like, and then also Neji as well at the same time. So I kind of like flip-flop between the 3 of them. Depends on my mood at the time, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. They're like Sasuke and Naruto, good choices. Good choices. The wrong choice. Oh wait, no, I have to ask you the question. I get about a 50-50 response rate. 50-50 response rate on this. Okay. There's one character that I need to know your opinion of. Like, yay or nay, you like them, don't like them, whatevs. What do you think of Kabuto. What do you think of this little dude here? Do you like him? Do you not like him? Are you repulsed by him? Do you think he's the best written character? I asked this question of everyone, and to me there's a right or wrong answer. You can probably guess. The fact that I'm asking you the question and I've said that there's a right or wrong answer, you could probably guess what my opinion is. Yeah, but yeah. So if you're a Kabuto yay person, I need to write your name down on a list of people that like it, so I know who you are. And if you didn't like Kabuto, then I'll welcome you in. But but no, and there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious about it, because I genuinely, like, most of the time I say I just find him really like icky and gross. Like he's just like creepy and weird. Like the things that he does, I'm like, what the hell? But then like early Kabuto, like pre-Shippuden Kabuto, he does cool stuff. So I'm just like, yeah. In terms of best written, I would actually say that I'd probably say Itachi. It's probably the best written character. And it's probably one of the reasons why he's grown on me over time. The more I think about his story, the more I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm picking up what they're throwing down. I'm gonna do one more matchup. So we got Ino and Obito Masked Man. Oh yeah, so just if you're wondering how I'm like doing all these fights, I've got a big spreadsheet that I've tracked. I like randomly generate all of like sort of the fights or matchups that I've had left, and I just have them in a big list that I just go down as a place. So I've like pre-generated all my fights beforehand. All randomly, just because I could start and do Sakura versus Naruto, Sakura versus Sasuke, Sakura versus Kakashi, Sakura versus Guy. I could do it that way, but I thought no, I'll mix it up a little bit, just purely for interest's sake. Oh, and another question which got brought up in a stream a short while ago. Out of the original Naruto series and Shippuden Naruto, if you're familiar enough with sort of the general plot lines and sort of flow of both of those things, obviously Shippuden's far larger in content, but of the two of them, do you prefer one over the other? Do you think that Shippuden Naruto was a huge improvement on the OG one, or do you think that Shippuden Naruto wasn't as good as the OG Naruto storyline? Because it was a huge discussion that we ended up having once about both of the sort of two series, and which we thought was better. And the general consensus seemed to be that by the end of Shippuden, you're kind of like, okay, thank God. Like, thank God they finally actually just finished it. Because it was just getting... It just felt like trying to come up with more story for the sake of trying to come up with more story. Which you can't sort of fault, because that's probably a product of the manga industry than anything else. And the need for the author, Kishimoto, to have to come up with new stuff. In fact, I'm actually going to do one more matchup. Screw it. Let's do it. Madara, Reanimation, Kalkazu. Yeah, so... Yeah, huge improvement up until the Pain arc ending. Interesting. Yeah, I must say the Pain arc was pretty decent. Madara Reanimation. I think just the whole like pain in the village was amazing. Style part 1, gonna have a character identity. Interesting. Yeah, and I think so my personal opinion is I think the OG Naruto series, or part 1, I should be calling it part 1, part 2. I find part 1 Naruto, I find that I prefer it. And it's probably because the characterization, obviously they need to set up the characters first off, I felt it was stronger. And I will shout it from the rooftops. I will say it as many times until I'm blue in the face. The tuning exams arc in part 1 Naruto is probably the greatest arc that has ever been in the entirety of Naruto and Boruto and everything and every shonen anime, and it is just incredible. It is just the most beautiful thing ever. The tuning exams. So the Forest of Death, all the preliminary fights before the final, the invasion of on the Leaf Village, that is the arc, which I think is just the most incredible thing ever. It has never been topped ever since. Hey Tokagol, thank you for the follow. It is much appreciated. From Italy. Oh, nice. Welcome on in. I mean, I probably sound... I don't actually know how I sound, but I'm from New Zealand. From little old New Zealand. Yeah, no, it did. It felt like it gets to a point where you're kind of like, just hurry up already. Like, you think... And I thought it is most blatant with the very end of Shippuden, where, okay, we've got Obito and Madara as the main guys. Okay, so we're fighting a reanimated version of Madara. Great, cool. He's going to be the final boss. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Obito's now the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Great. He's now the final boss. Oh, hang on a second. Madara's now got Sage powers. He's now the final boss. Oh, hang on, someone else has now appeared. Some chick who's never been introduced until now appears. And now she's the final boss. It's just like... You could feel the padding. It was like, just hurry up, just end it. Just end it already. Yeah. But it's just, yeah. No, it's... Yeah, good old Naruto. It's, yeah. But anyway. I digress. Now, okay, this will definitely be the last matchup of tonight. It is 9:25. I've got a cake waiting on the bench in the kitchen that I have to ice. It is, because it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, and I've decided randomly on the fly to make a green cake that I'm going to top with green icing, bring into work tomorrow. So I've got to get the icing made after this and get it all. And I mean, me and icing has been a horror story in the past, so I need time to get it right and then get ready for work tomorrow. So this will be definitely, the last matchup of the day. favorite Naruto, which should be Sasuke. That would be my second favorite. After the tuning exams, that is definitely a close second. So I fully respect that as a choice. No, it is. I think the what the Sasuke retrieval art did so well is how the fights that they did. So when they're all fighting the Sound of Four, just how well they did the characterization of like Choji and Neji, and I'll say Shikamaru-ish, but Kiba. Just those was, just the way they did their fights was so good. And then the fight with Kimimaro and Lee and Gaara is just, mwah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it was a fantastic way to end the series. It ends it on like Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke are like they're in, you know, being trained by the Sunny by coincidence, but it's just a perfect way to end it, and it doesn't feel like the characters end up somewhere because that's where the story, like, I don't know how I word this, like Sasuke going off to Orochimaru, Naruto being trained by Jiraiya, Sakura going off to Tsunade. Obviously the story needs them to go there, but it doesn't feel, it feels natural. It feels natural that that's the case. Doesn't feel forced. Yeah. I heard from people wishing the old generations had their own arcs. What I would love to have seen, again, this is probably the girl in me talking, so I do apologise. So Asuma and Kurenai get together and have a kid. Where's the little, like, filler episode of Asuma and Kurenai going on a date? Or, like, them even, like, starting to like each other? Again, it's definitely the girl in me talking right now. But, and actually no, there was one actually filler episode idea that I had that was actually like, oh my god, this is actually full on untapped potential. And I can't for the life of me work out what it was now. It was something, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, it is definitely filler material. No, I cannot think about it. No, it'll come to me, I'm sure. Right, so I've done those two fights. Hanzo and Soslast. Okay, so I'm going to, so we're down to 5,490. Look at that, beautiful, gorgeous. Fair. It's yeah, there is a lot of untapped potential. And it's almost like you wish, like, god damn, I wish I was good at animation. I'll just make it myself. I'll come up with my dream arc for some of the other characters, and make and put it on YouTube or something. Maybe I should do that. I should get into animation, just make my own little fan animations. Fanimations, I think they're called. Don't know, I could be wrong on that one. Anyway, with that though, I'm gonna have to call it a day here. Like I said, I've got to make icing for a cake before work tomorrow, so I've got to do that. And I've got to go to bed very shortly. But thank you for joining. It's been fabulous having you here. I stream, well, my next Naruto stream will be on my Sunday morning, which will be your Saturday night. Yes, Saturday evening? No, hang on. Yes, Saturday afternoon / evening. And then I'll be on the same time tomorrow night and the next night for, I play East, playing East 2 on Fridays, and then Trails of Cold Steel 2 on Saturdays. But anyway, as I said, I'll call it there. We're down to 10 more fights than I was meaning to, but that's always good. And no, it was lovely meeting you. Thank you for the follow again. It's always appreciated. Stay well, stay rested, stay hydrated, stay fruity fresh, stay fabulous, stay lovely, and I will see you all next time. Bye.